Hey everyone, I'm Lloyd, and today this is a Kubla Cubed tutorial on area lengths and counts. Now it's a fairly simple subject, but there might be some tips and tricks that I can give you to help you on your projects. Let's dive in. So here we have our completed Kubla Cubed project, all the modelling's done, we've got our cut and fill estimation, so that's great. Now we've got some features, the measurement tools in particular, which can help you speed up your projects and enable direct takeoff from the site plans within Kubla Cubed. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to click on the measurements tab, a double click, and then firstly we're going to look at the count measurement. So with counts, what we can do is we can add a count to the plan. So we'll just count things of interest to us. In this case, I'm going to be counting drainage items. So we're going to count all of the drainage items that we're interested in. We're going to click OK, and then from there we can now see that we've got the counts in the project and that the counts are shown up here with the total count. Now as these are drainage items, we're going to call these drainage. So that means that we actually now have labelled our plan with these items, which can be a really useful feature for labelling specific items of interest to you. What's also worth knowing is that if we edit these, we can add a tag to them. So the tag here, for the first drainage item, we can call this pipe. Now I'm just using simple examples for now, but you can call them what you wish. We've got pipe, and then we've got grate. So that's a very simple and very effective way to now label two items on your plan as drainage, as part of a group, and then individually with their tags. We can also turn on the number, so you can actually see which of the count items is which. And as I previously mentioned, we can see the total number there. We've got options to turn off the name, for example, if drainage was no longer relevant, or you can turn off the tag. So you can customize the labels to suit your styling, and then we've got the options to change the bracket style on the count as well. So we've counted in our project, we've counted our drainage, and now we're going to look at some fences. So what we can do here is we can use the length element. Now this at its most basic form can be used to measure a single length on the plan. So that's a really useful tool. And we can see here that that length has come up as 484 feet. So useful by itself, but now we're going to look at some of the more, some better techniques that we can use to actually maximize the use of this length element. So we're going to call this length a fence. So that's really good. We know that fence is now 484 feet. And the key thing here to note is that we can now edit this and we can add in another fence. So for example, this is going to be still within the same fence element. Now we can add a second fence. So this fence is going to be here on this element. Great. So we've got a second fence and we'll finish that. And now we can see that we've got two fences of around the same length, and they're both shown as fence in the project. Now we've got the individual lengths shown here, and then we've got the total length shown up here, so we can quickly and easily mark on our plan all the fence elements we would need and get a very quick takeoff estimation for the total number. Again, we've got the option of changing the names, tags, lengths and units to suit your needs. You might not want to show the actual length themselves. You might just want to label the lines, so you can use these label options to suit your needs. Then lastly, we've also got the area measurement. Now this is a really useful tool with some good features. So we're going to measure the outside of our pavement area. So what we can do there is click in the top left. It's worth noting that your tag is always set, or your label is always set where you click first. So it's always good to click that in the top left, as it makes it easy to see the label. So then we're going to draw carefully around our pavement area, and then right click to finish. So now we can see that we've got our pavement area drawn on the plan. Now we've drawn that total area, and you can see that it's actually quite hard to see the the colour there, that the red hatching and the red boundary against the red background, not so simple to see. So we're going to pick a bright green colour, so making it much easier to see, and we can increase this to a cross diagonal so it's even more obvious. So now we've got a total area of our pavement, so that's really useful to us. But as you can see, there's actually a building enclosed within this outline. So what we can do is we can go into the boundary and we can edit it. Now we can add another outline we'll draw our building footprint within the outer outline, and we'll draw this within around our building. So now we've got an outline within our outline. So what we should note here is that when we come out of this, it's shown here that this is no longer enclosed in our area. It's actually been cut out of the external outline. So we've got a cutout in the middle there. Now the total area here is the area that's hatched in green. So a very useful tool for capturing quite complex areas and ensuring that you're only getting the measurements you absolutely want with no complicated maths to do yourself in spreadsheets, etc. We can also add extra outlines to this. So now we can keep our pavement, and in this case there'll be another area of pavement here, and this area of pavement here will also be added to our total. So a really good way to track the use of all surface elements throughout the project. Here we've again got options for colours, fill styles, and then we've got label text options as well. So we can tag with different element names, etc., to suit you as you need. So now we've got all the information we need displayed in our user interface. That's really useful for us as we're developing the project and marking our plans, getting our measurements. We can now export this information so that our clients and customers can also understand the data involved in our project. Now the first way to export this data is in a tabular form. So we go into our spreadsheet, click on our estimation data, and we'll let it load. And now you see it here. We've got our earthworks calculations, but then we've also got our areas, lengths and counts. And as you can see here, the individual elements are marked with their lengths, and we've also got our tag names here, so you can see exactly what it is that you're working with. Another key feature is that the areas elements also report their 2D perimeter, so it's worth noting that that can be a useful feature. And next I'm going to show you the export to PDF and CAD. So this is the creation of professional looking drawings from Kubla Cubed. So these can be used directly by you to pass on this information to your customers. So in this project, very simple, we're just going to export it. Here you see we've got the surface shown. The areas, lengths and counts aren't shown in this window, and as you see they're not displayed in the preview. So we'll export this, and we'll export that to a PDF file for this case, but the CAD files work in exactly the same way. And there we go. We've created a nice professional set of drawings directly from Kubla Cubed with a quick click of a button. This is our existing plan. We can see all of our existing data we've used to create our surface and our site plan. Then we've got our earthworks calculation. You can see our cut and fill volumes here. And then at the bottom, we've got our areas, lengths and counts export shown over the surface, so we can see exactly the areas and information we've measured. In the bottom left, the data is also tabulated, so for easy reading off of the information we've created. Thanks everyone, hopefully some nice tips and tricks for you to use on your future projects. Any questions, just drop a note in the forum or in the comments below this video. Cheers.